Lakers fans, I want you to hear the exact words a Sacramento Kings insider used to describe Zach Lavine's situation 3 days ago, because it's the key to understanding everything that happened today. James Ham, who covers the Kings for ESPN 1320 Sacramento, reported that when Lavine picked up his $49 million player option in late June, the organization told him directly, and I'm quoting the exact reported language, "All bets are off if you opt in. No promised starting job. No promised minutes. No promised future with the franchise." That was the actual internal message delivered to a three-time All-Star who had just guaranteed himself $49 million for one more season in a city that had clearly already moved on from building around him. That specific cold organizational posture has been the entire story of Lavine's summer. And at 11:52 this morning on a live Get Up segment, Shams Charania interrupted a completely unrelated conversation about draft prospects to tell the entire basketball world exactly what "all bets are off" actually meant in practice. Zach Lavine has been traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. Before you scroll off, I'm telling you right now, by the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you the specific number Shams cited about the exact contract value involved that told every cap analyst watching precisely how the Lakers structured this around their post-LeBron cap sheet. I'm also going to tell you what Adam Schefter posted from his personal account 16 minutes later, a specific reference to a very similar situation from his own sport that made this story trend across two entirely different fan bases simultaneously. Stay with me, do not click off. Here's how it went down. Mike Greenberg is running Get Up deep into a segment about Summer League prospects when the control room clearly interrupts him with real force. He stops mid-sentence. "We have to go to Shams, this is breaking right now." And they cut. Shams delivers, and this is the direct transcript. I want to explain exactly how this trade was structured, because it's genuinely creative given the numbers involved. Zach Lavine is on a $49 million expiring contract this season. It's the final year of his deal. My understanding is that Rob Pelinka viewed that specific number, an expiring max-level contract with real remaining talent attached, as an ideal mechanism to add a proven high-volume scorer without any long-term financial commitment beyond this single season. Sacramento, having already moved DeRozan and having made clear internally that Lavine's long-term future in Sacramento was uncertain at best, was receptive to a deal built around expiring salary and draft compensation rather than holding out for a bigger return. This trade is agreed to in principle. It uses a specific salary matching structure built entirely around expiring money, which is exactly why it came together so quickly once both sides recognized their interests aligned. I'd read that back. A specific salary matching structure built entirely around expiring money. That is precise capology language. Shams is explaining not just that a trade happened, but the exact financial mechanism, expiring for expiring, that made it possible without requiring either team to attach significant future draft capital or long-term money, which is exactly the kind of technical detail a reporter only includes when he's seen the actual structure. And 16 minutes later, as I promised, Adam Schefter posted from his personal account, and this crossover reaction is genuinely notable given how rarely he weighs in on NBA news. "Saw the Lavine trade. Reminds me of a team taking on a big one-year prove-it contract specifically because there's zero long-term risk attached. Exact same logic we see in football all the time with rental year veteran deals. Smart, low-risk swing by the Lakers. Nice find by Shams." Read that back. Schefter drawing a direct parallel to a specific, recognizable football contract strategy, the one-year rental with no long-term exposure, is exactly the kind of cross-sport recognition that made this story trend simultaneously across NBA and NFL circles, because both fan bases immediately understood the underlying financial logic he was describing. Now, the whiplash, because I know exactly what you're thinking. Sacramento explicitly told Lavine all bets are off weeks ago, and multiple insiders, including Jake Fisher specifically, reported the Kings had zero plans to move him before the trade deadline in February, preferring to let him play his way into value first. Why would they suddenly trade him in July instead of waiting? And here's the honest answer, and it requires understanding that waiting until February was always Sacramento's stated preference, not a guarantee, and preferences change fast when an unexpected, genuinely attractive offer appears early. Fisher's reporting reflected Sacramento's plan as of early July. Hope Lavine plays well enough over the season's first half to generate real trade value by the deadline. But that plan was always contingent on nobody making a genuinely strong offer before then. The moment the Lakers, sitting on real post-LeBron flexibility and a specific need for scoring punch, called with an offer strong enough to beat wait and see, Sacramento's stated preference for patience evaporated, because a bird in hand from a team with genuine competitive urgency is worth more than a hypothetical unrealized trade value 6 months from now. Stay with me. Because once you understand exactly why Lavine specifically fits this roster's most glaring remaining hole, this stops looking premature and starts looking like exactly the kind of opportunistic value play smart front offices specialize in. 3 reasons Shams was this confident. Reason 3 is where the reveal lands. Reason number 1, since LeBron's departure, the Lakers have added complementary shooting in Michael Porter Jr. and a mid-range bucket getter in DeMar DeRozan, but this roster has been genuinely missing one specific thing: a proven, explosive, off-the-dribble isolation scorer who can simply create his own shot from nothing when a possession completely breaks down and nobody else is open. Zach Lavine, even accounting for recent injury-shortened seasons, remains at his best one of the most explosive pure scorers in the entire league. A career 20-plus point per game player with legitimate all-star pedigree and a genuine shot creation gear this roster has lacked at the 2-guard spot specifically. That is the exact archetype missing from an otherwise well-rounded rotation. Reason number 2. And this is the tactical detail specific to why this fits so cleanly next to Luka Doncic. Lavine's game, at its peak, thrives specifically in exactly the situations Luka's gravity creates most often. Spot-up opportunities that turn into close-out attacks, transition lanes generated off Luka's live ball creation, and secondary pick-and-roll actions where a shot-creating guard punishes a scrambling defense. Unlike a pure standstill shooter, Lavine's ability to attack a closeout off the catch gives Redick's offense a genuinely dynamic second gear that complements, rather than duplicates, everything already added this summer. And before I get to reason 3, because reason 3 is the specific number Shams cited, talk to me in the comments. Lakers fans, real question: does Lavine's recent injury history and inconsistent availability worry you enough to overshadow his obvious talent, or do you believe a full recovery from last year's hand surgery changes the calculation? I think the fan base is going to be genuinely split on how much to trust his health going forward, and I want to read the argument. Go. Reason number 3, the number, ready? $49 million of the final year of his deal. Read that back. That specific figure, matching exactly the publicly reported value of Lavine's player option, is significant because it confirms Shams' report is drawing from the actual verified contract terms rather than an approximation. And more importantly, the specific detail that this is an expiring one-season-only commitment tells you precisely why Pelinka was comfortable making this move even after already investing significant cap flexibility elsewhere this summer. There is no long-term financial risk attached at all. If it works, the Lakers have a genuine scoring threat for a full championship push. If it doesn't work, the money is completely gone from the books next summer with zero lingering commitment. That specific verified financial detail, precisely matching independently reported numbers, is exactly the kind of cross-verification that confirms real sourcing rather than speculation. Now, the skeptic, Stephen A. Smith, predictably, found plenty to question. The Kings told this man, all bets are off. Jake Fisher reported they had zero plans to trade him before February. And now, in July, you're telling me the Lakers just traded for a guy who played 39 games last year before needing season-ending hand surgery on a roster that's already added 3 new significant pieces this offseason? At what point does adding talent become adding chaos, Los Angeles? You can't have 5 new voices all wanting shots on the same roster. And listen, Stephen A's roster crowding concern is genuinely worth taking seriously. Adding Lavine on top of Porter and DeRozan means real, unresolved questions about shot distribution and role clarity heading into training camp. But here's the counter. Every single addition this summer fills a genuinely distinct, non-overlapping role. Porter is a spot-up shooter who needs almost no touches. DeRozan is a mid-range bucket getter deployed specifically in second unit bench-heavy minutes. And Lavine's specific value is as an explosive closer who can be deployed situationally in exactly the moments this roster has previously had no answer. These are not 4 players all fighting for the same shots. They are 4 distinct tools, each solving a different specific problem, and a well-coached rotation genuinely has room for all of them if deployed with real tactical discipline. Stephen A. is counting bodies. Reddick is deploying specific tools for specific situations. Here's the part of this story with real texture. Zach Lavine has spent his entire career being described as one of the league's most explosive pure athletes and scorers, but has never played a single postseason game beyond the first round, and has genuinely never gotten to play alongside a top 5 offensive talent capable of generating the kind of easy, low-usage looks that could maximize his efficiency without requiring him to carry the full offensive burden himself, the way he was forced to for years in Chicago. Walking into a role next to Luka Doncic, carrying dramatically less offensive responsibility than at any point in his career, represents the single clearest opportunity Lavine has ever had to simply be efficient and dangerous in a smaller role, rather than an inefficient primary option on a rebuilding team. But I owe you the honest risk. Lavine's recent health record, culminating in season-ending hand surgery last year, is a real and recent concern, and no team can fully guarantee that a player entering his 30s, with that specific recent medical history, returns to anything close to his peak explosiveness. That risk is real, and it's exactly why this deal was structured as a single-season, expiring commitment rather than anything resembling a long-term bet. So let me bring it home. Zach Lavine to the Lakers matters because he provides the exact explosive self-creating scoring punch this roster has lacked at the 2-guard spot, because his close-out attacking game specifically complements everything already added this summer without overlapping, and because Shams' precise citation of the exact $49 million expiring figure, matching independently verified contract terms, confirms this report is built on the actual real numbers rather than speculation. Adam Schefter's cross-sport recognition of the rental contract logic is the receipt. Now here's what I'm watching next, and this is the next video, so hit subscribe. If Lavine lands in Los Angeles, the very next question is exactly how JJ Redick structures shot distribution across this now genuinely crowded rotation, and what specifically Sacramento received in return to support their continued youth movement. I've got a read on it that will surprise you. For now, comments, likes, subscribe. Lakers fans, all bets were off in Sacramento, all bets are on in Los Angeles. Wild summer.